Hi, Daniel. Can you hear me well?
Yeah. Hey, Zed. What's up?
Hey, so how are you doing? How's things back in the US for you?
Oh, well, we're all just quarantined and minimizing our movement. But, it's becoming a routine now. So, I guess we're getting kind of used to it and settling into this being the way it will be for a while. So it's fine. We're doing okay. Yeah.
Does it help with the creative process at all?
The interesting thing about that is animation has been one of the few creative jobs that uh, hasn't been super affected, at least in terms of people being able to do the work. I think the thing that you miss out on is collaboration and sort of the social aspect of making things. That has completely gone out the window. We do Zoom calls once in a while, but it just doesn't feel the same. It's not as natural. But animation, luckily, can continue on. We're all lucky to still have jobs and we can still work. So, yeah, I guess that's the answer.
So, talking about creating, so you created, a very little known series called The Wee Bear Bears. Almost no one's ever heard of them, right? I mean, the truth is, it's quite the opposite. As in, everyone's heard of them. It's gone from an animated series to now you have cafes, you have so many things that are associated with the Wee Bear Bears. Did you think that it would have been such a success or, got taken on by so many people?
No, I mean, my biggest motive to make this show was I just wanted to make my own thing. I was working I was very lucky. I was working as a story artist in animation, but, I was working on, fine movies, but I think there was something about just not being able to let my voice be heard and not letting the unique things I wanted to put out in the world, not letting that be my job. And I think I just really wanted to make that happen. So more than anything, it was just a desire to create was really all it was. And the thought of it, first of all, I thought of going 4 seasons in a movie like that, of course, would never cross my mind. And then on top of that, just the kind of reception that the show has had, especially in Asia, it boggles my mind, and it's not something I ever expected. And there was no intention or plan for that at all. So all I can do is be grateful and just say, I'm just glad it connected with people.
Great. Okay, what inspired you to create, particularly the Wee Bear Bears and the Three Bears? Any inspiration behind that? What's the story behind them?
I mean, there's a couple of versions of that story. I mean, the sort of beginnings of it was I was sitting in a library with my girlfriend's niece, who was at the time like 5 or 6, and I was just trying to make her laugh. So I had my sketchbook and I was just drawing the weirdest things I could draw, and out of this, kind of freeform drawing came out these 3 bears. And pretty soon I drew them in a stack just because I kept pushing it and trying to make her laugh, trying to make her laugh. So the 3 bears kind of just came out of just trying to make, a kid laugh. And from there, I created a webcomic out of these characters, which nobody read and nobody cared about. And I made about maybe 10 of them. And but it wasn't until I decided to make it a show that it sort of it became, this thing that we were just talking about. So, I think that was like the main impetus for creating the show. Why bears? I was living in Northern California. I actually moved back up to Northern California recently. And, bear iconography is everywhere up here. UC Berkeley is a big school up here, and their big mascot is bears. Bears are, the animal for California, the state animal. So it's just like the iconography of bears is just all over the place, especially up here in the Bay Area. So I would say that probably, played a role into me kind of having this fixation on them, perhaps.
And what about their personalities? You had to pull them off. Anything that comes from you is there, because you said you wanted your own voice, right? You wanted to tell a story. So you came up with the three bears. What about their personalities, the things that they do? Where did that come from?
Yeah, they are all me, all three of them. So like, Grizzly is kind of me when I'm say running the show, when I'm running the TV show, or when I have to be a leader. I'm a much more extroverted person, talk more. I have to inspire people. I have to like get them excited to do something, and I have to initiate things. And I think that's a very Grizz aspect of me. Panda is a little bit more me at default, and you can tell just because he took on a lot more of my traits, like all the allergies that Panda has, it came from me. His asthma came from me. He likes to draw, so obviously, like, he definitely, Panda and I definitely have a much stronger kinship, I believe. And then Ice Bear is kind of me, like when I'm with my family, I think. I think, sitting around the dinner table, for example, it might be a little bit serious, or, maybe not as like, maybe it may be a little stern, perhaps. I wouldn't say stern, but it's just, not as goofy. And I think I found what I wanted to do was always just lighten the tension, or just make it weird, or say something weird to just get attention. I was the youngest. I'm the youngest also in my family. So I think Ice Bear it can be me when I was, when I'm with my family. So all three of them are definitely stem from my personality.
Right. So you went from a web comic to the animated series.
Mm-hmm.
Just happened to win a couple of awards along the way, and now you've got a movie. What's that like? What's that journey like? Because you know, not everyone gets to do that. And the way you've done it, it's quite amazing. So, what was that journey like, making it now to the big screen? And how is that different from doing these short formats to now bringing the
Yeah.
Wee Bear Bears to, the big screen?
Yeah. I would say, though, when you're making a TV show, you're just desperate to finish the work because it's so hard and the schedules are so rigorous, and your head is down all the time because you're just trying to get things done, and there's never enough time and never enough money. And so when I look back at season 1 through 4, even though there were a lot of successful things that happened between that time, a lot of it was also, it was just work the whole way through. There was very little time to sit back and sort of take in what we were experiencing, or what it was like, or to process what was happening. We were just desperate to finish the work because it was just so hard. But once we got into the movie, I think we got to relax a little bit. The schedule was a little bit longer. We kind of could sit and think on it a little bit more because it demanded it. And I think we definitely made use of that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I always kind of knew that we would be able to make a movie, and I felt like the show sort of had the right components to do it. We had characters that had depth and that people would really relationally, or that people cared about. And I kind of always felt that we would be able to pull it off. So that was just something that, I think consciously I felt. I mean, I don't want to say we were confident, but we knew what to expect because I'd worked in movies too. So there was a combination of setting up the show right and also having experience working on movies that I think we felt a lot more confident going in. And I think it was just, I mean, there were bumps and there were problems for sure, but I think we went into that sort of, maybe what I'm trying to say is we were able to enjoy that process a lot more because there were less, I don't know, there was just a level of comfortability that we were ready to embark on in that movie.
What can fans expect, especially fans of the series, then now expect from the movie?
Well, I mean, the big one was tying up as many loose ends as we can. I mean, I don't know if we did all of them, but we definitely tied up the how do the Bears meet, question. And that was like this dangling fruit that was always kind of, existed in the show. And, fans would always ask me for that answer. And I kind of knew in my head, I'm waiting for the movie. If we ever get to make one, that's the time to do it. So we're going to do it. We did it. And so the movie will reveal that. But I think the movie is it's basically us taking this big idea that, I always knew the show was about, which is it's about my feeling as a minority in America, my feeling of trying to find my place in the world and trying to find, a sense of belonging. And it's about these bears trying to find the same. And, they are going to be, discriminated against. They're going to be chased. But, the hope is that children will watch this and people will watch this and just see that, we're not that different from each other and that we're all kind of hoping for the same thing. And hopefully we'll learn to treat each other a little better. So I think that is kind of what hopefully people will love about the movie and expect from it. And but hopefully they'll laugh too, because I think we need it right now. So
Daniel, thank you very much for joining us today. And, all the best and the best of luck for the We Bear Bears, the movie and, episodes going forward. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Ed.